G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach. We're on the live stream here, and I'm joined by Damo and Brad from SuperCoach Pro, and we'll also get Freo Tragic on board as well in a sec. So Good Friday, so we're doing a Good Friday live stream, and just before the North Melbourne Carlton clash, I think first way to kick things off, what do we guys think about North's Good Friday jumper this year? I actually think it's a big improvement on last year.
I can't remember last year's.
It's like the North Melbourne logo, like the superhero sort of style of it.
Hang on, I'm going to look it up.
I like it. I reckon it looks all right. I don't really watch North Melbourne games, but it looks good.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So I do like this year's one. I do think it's good to have a jumper, that raises money, and I think they auction them off eventually.
Yeah,
I can see last year's. Yeah, that kind of looked like kind of looks like it was made in like Microsoft Publisher or something. That one.
True.
But the new one looks a little better.
Yeah, and I like I always like the Bounding Roo design that they do. So they've done all right there. Got one viewer, and I believe that's myself. I'm just copying the link so I can send this out to the people.
Have you made your trades, you boys?
Yep. What are you doing, Brad?
Oh, mate, I went to upload a video just before for my preview, and it wouldn't go through because I was still recording. So my trades, I'm just full special. I'm getting rid of Young, Caulfield, and Berry.
Yep.
Because they're dead picks, and I'm bringing in Powell in the forward line for Berry. Then I'm splitting Young and Caulfield into Winhager and Williams.
Oh, Zach Williams. Yep, nice. And,
yeah. I could sideways Primos, but I'm sort of just upgrading that bench. So it puts Williams at D6 and Massimo D5, but then it also puts Winhager D4, and then it leaves Howes and Hawes on the bench.
Yep, fair enough. Speaking of Tom Powell, Harley Sports Talk, shout out to him. Can't wait for the Tom Powell train later today. Choo choo. Yeah, I think we're all on board Tom Powell. Would I be correct?
Yeah, I've got Tom Powell.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going Tom Powell. 93% CBAs. I think it's just hard to say no to. Damo, what are your trades this week?
So I've also dumped Young. Because I had Dacos in my midfield, I was able to. I had a bit more flexibility with what I changed him to. So Young has become Tom Powell via multiple DPPs, and then with the cash, I've jumped early and upgraded Grundy to Tim English, just because Tim English is going to be a better ruckman throughout the season, and Grundy is probably sharing a little too much with Hayden McLean at the moment.
Yep, agree with that. Yeah, nice moves, and you're currently 9K, so you're having a good start to the season as well.
It could be better, but yep.
Yeah, we could be one, but we're not. And then for me, I'm going. Bloody hell, I've forgotten. I think it's Hayden Young, Ollie Wines, and Alex Sexton out. So probably two of those blokes you could probably hold, but Ollie Wines opens up other opportunities. So I'm bringing Jack Carroll, Tom Powell, and Luke Ryan. Yeah,
good trades.
Yeah, thanks.
Does Matthew Nix saying that they've got a plan for Luke Ryan scare you at all?
Not really.
I mean, they had a plan for Tom Stewart, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I mean, if Adelaide's kicking from last week continues, then I have no issues whatsoever. So, and also Luke Ryan's just a top 6 player throughout the year. So it's just more of a full season play here. Thank you to the 7 viewers on board. Make sure you jump on and answer and give us some questions just before because last night's game was interesting, but not super relevant for SuperCoach. It's just really Nick Dacos, Finlay McRae, and Jared Lyons got dropped. So I feel like this is the game right now at 4:20 is certainly more the SuperCoach lockout because of all the North Melbourne players that everyone's got. I think we've all got at least 3+ players now. So
Yeah.
the North Melbourne are probably the most relevant side in SuperCoach at the minute. I think while we're at it, we may as. What did you think of Nick Dacos's game last night? You two, while we're at it.
Once Jack Crisp got activated and he was moved through the center a bit more, he was using the ball and getting a bit more of the ball, and that's why he had that 70-point second half. I think he's completely lost to halfback now. I think he's a midfielder. I don't think he's a halfback anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't get to see the game because I work 2 to 10 during the weekdays, so I'll have to replay the game. But I did see he was pretty low at halftime, then he got 72 points in the last half. So it's whatever. I think it'd be silly just to trade him off last week because he's going to be top 6 defender anyway, right?
I don't think it would have been the worst play actually. Like just sort of grabbing him maybe later at 550k, but I didn't do it. But he's an absolute jet. I mean. Yeah, he started off really slow. I didn't watch the game yesterday either, so I can't give a good gauge on how good he was. But second half, he just killed it. Hey, Harry. G'day, boys. Dempsey or Carroll need a plan for Sam Darcy next week. So I'd go Dempsey, I think. But it depends on your forward line.
If he needs Darcy next week, then I'd probably go for Carroll.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
But if Carroll's named as the sub, then it makes the decision easy.
Yeah. I still like Dempsey's job security better than Carroll.
Yeah, Dempsey looks like a breakout candidate. I think Sam Walsh is back in 2 or 3 weeks, so that would probably stop Carroll's midfield rotation minutes. So that's the thing.
But he plays North this week, so he could go off and make you the money before Walsh returns anyway.
Yeah, that's really sort of the theory. I think Carroll's a good pick. Hopefully he's not named sub. I don't think he would. I think he's grown enough to. I think I haven't checked the bench, but I reckon it'll be like Fantasia sub or something today,
or even Elijah Hollins.
Or Durden.
Is Durden picked?
Don't know. I thought he was.
He might have been.
Let me have a look. So the teams.
Nah, maybe I'm going crazy.
Yeah, so Durden's the 5th on the interchange.
Yeah.
Cottrell, Fantasia, Boyd, and Carroll are also on the interchange with him though.
Fantasia, I reckon, is sub.
Yep.
Yeah, he hasn't really had much impact, Fantasia. I mean, he's been there, but I reckon his fitness isn't 100% yet, to be honest.
I've been considering going Grundy down to Sherry heavily. Yeah,
true. Yeah, I would do that, but I think I'm planning for to swap Grundy to Marshall at his bye. I think that's the play I'm going to do.
So I've already got Marshall because I've decided to go 2 pod heavy and grab Marshall over Gorn. Silly move.
No, that's all right. You're still in a good spot.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm ranked. I'm ranked better than last season. Remember last season's start? Oh my god, I'm ranked 25,000.
I don't talk about last season. Last season, every player I traded in got injured, so I was down to like 10. I was down to like 10 trades really, really quickly. I reckon I was using 2 trades every week just to get rid of injured players. And like I reckon at least half of them were just on my rucks alone.
Harley Sports Talk VC and C. Sorry if it's already been discussed. We haven't discussed it yet. For me, I'm going Butters into Bontempelli. Don't know what you two boys are doing.
I'm doing Bont into Heaney.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I think Bont's going to be the I think English is the best option this week, and then but people might not have him, so they'll go Bont, that sort of thing. So what about you, Damo?
My C's on Bontempelli, but my vice captain's on Luke Jackson.
Dogger, yeah. Well, he's playing tonight. Hopefully he got sick. Yeah, so I like Jackson. I think even Luke Ryan's not a bad shout for vice captain tonight too, because we know that ceiling is there for Ryan. But probably the talk with Knicks would probably just put me off. But I don't know. They played into Tom Stewart's hands the last week pretty good, so we'll have to see with that. So yeah, Butters and Bont for me. Freeze FC, hi guys. I have left VC discussion for today. She's or Jacko. So
well, you know who I'm going with. So
yeah, Luke Jackson. Yep. Do you rate
Jackson
as the vice captain option today?
Harry Sheasel.
Yep.
Not really, but I mean, I can see it. I can see him doing all right. He scored 111 last time he played Carlton, so who knows if he needs to add at least 15 points onto that to be for someone to want to lock him in this early in the season.
He doesn't got a huge ceiling game anyway for me to ever consider him as a captain, to be honest. Like, you don't see him smash out 140s, 150s very often.
G'day, Freo Tragic. Thank you for jumping on, mate.
Hey, mate, how are you?
What's going on?
How's everyone?
Oh,
yeah, pretty good.
Pretty excited by Freo's form at the moment. Wish they'd start a bit faster.
Are you Freo boys confident tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Kinda. I could never be confident with Justin Longmuir's system. I don't trust him yet.
No, I can understand. There's still a bit of convincing there. Harley Sports Talk English into Heaney for me. Yep, that's a nice move. I think English probably is the best option out of everyone this week as well. So I think that's a good call. Keep sending in the questions, all that sort of thing.
How many people have got English? What's his ownership?
I don't know. Let me have a look.
12%.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think that includes people who have traded him in this week.
I'll have a look at how many people have traded him in this week. 0.2%. Gee, that seems a lot lower than I thought, actually.
Too much money.
He's still pretty expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody tough to get to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Does the little bit of ruck time from Sam Darcy concern anyone with English?
No.
I think that's better for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look, if he's resting forward, then, he might end up kicking a couple of goals as well, which is just, if it's in the early days when it's still reasonably tight, then, yeah, that'd be good for him. But,
absolutely. Bringing in English this week, yeah, nice.
Are you guys looping any of your rookies this week with the players on the bye?
Yep. Yeah, I'm doing 3 emergency loopholes happening. I'm seeing how Zach Williams, Jack Carroll go today. Then I'm also looping and then if they go crap, then I go Marty Hoare on field or Harley Reid, and then in the forward line I'm looping Darcy Wilson and Dempsey.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Yeah. I'm looping Zach Williams and Blake Howes using Zach Reid. I'm looping Jeremy Sharp and Jai Clark, because without Dangerfield, I think he could put up a good score. And then I'm looping Darcy Wilson and Caleb Windsor using Aaron Cadman.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got Whitfield on the bench in defence, so I've got everyone available on field. I can't loop up there, but I'm looping Carroll and Buku Kamas.
Oh yeah, Buku.
Forward line. If he puts, he probably won't, but if he does somehow put up an 80 or something, I'll get him on field using Cadman.
And I'm looping Sharp into Clark. That's my only loop I've got, because I've got a lot of Gold Coast players and Giants players, so I can only do 1 week this week. Kind of annoying. I've got to field Buku as well. I've got to field Wilson. And, Clark. So I don't love those 3, but the rest look okay.
I think it's actually crazy this year how many good rookie options we have. And it's sort of overwhelming a bit because you're sort of moving off blokes that usually in most seasons you'd probably hold for a little bit. But just to maximise cash gen, we're just sort of making these sort of moves. So, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, guys like Carroll and Dempsey and stuff are only like, I think 8 and 12% owned, which is really low for like what looks to be really good rookies.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Freeze FC. Cheers, guys. I'm a North supporter and the missus is a Crow supporter. Massive day in the household. Let's go, Freo. Let's go. Yeah, gee, there'll be a big day on the couch for you, mate. Harley Sports Talk. Thoughts on Neil? Is he a must-have over the bye? Could be a top 8 from here. The age concerns me. I think it'll be there's so many good midfielders this year, so I think he could get cheap at some point, and we could certainly have a look at him. But I think cash gen's so good this season where we can probably afford to make a few moves, 600 plus K. So something to think about. What do you think on Neil, guys?
I haven't really considered him. He's not front of mind as an upgrade target yet. He might get there once I start doing my upgrades, though.
No for me. I think there's a clear 8 midfielders I'd rather before him, so he's not in my calculations.
I think you're right about the cash gen. I think we should get most of our forward primos sort of around that 500, maxed out at about 550, maybe for a Flanders or something. I'm trying to get Flanders next week. I actually went Grundy to Sherry this week. I just had enough of Grundy, and I'm like, I just can't sit there and watch it. I'd rather that spot at least be making money, and I think Cherry can kind of match him for scoring, if not outscore him, and he's gonna make some money. So he might only make like 80, 100K, but I'd still rather use that. It was the difference between me getting Sheasel in and getting Wangaleen Malera. So I could have gone Wangaleen Malera and just done 2 trades and kept hold of Grundy, but I decided that I wanted Sheasel, so I went down to Cherry. So it's not something I'd necessarily recommend. I just thought I've got Marshall in that other spot, so it's quite unique, I think, having Marshall and
good point.
So I got to take this phone call, guys. 1 second.
No, you're all good. You're all good, mate. No.
I'm just looking at the stats. Yeah. Grundy's CBAs have gone from first round 83% down to 68, down to 74. Is that concerning?
What was it again?
His CBAs were 83 in the first round, which is fine, then 68 round 1, and then 74 round 2.
I guess it's sort of that thing we're talking about with Hayden McLean chipping in a fair bit. I didn't see much of the Sydney Essendon game last week, but I did see at some points that Grundy was in the forward line. So I think they're still using him as the main guy in the ruck. But, I think they're just trying to keep things flexible down at Sydney. The Ultimate Fitness Adventure Camp. Sorry, Freo.
I was just going to say, they don't seem to be using like Grundy when they're transferring the footy. Like, he doesn't seem to be just kind of trying to find space and taking marks and giving off handballs and stuff. He just seems to ruck and then go stoppage to stoppage. I just remember, like, in his best days at Collingwood, he was used more like a big midfielder.
Yeah.
And he was getting into open space and linking up and actually getting the ball a bit there. And he's just not really doing it. He's just pushing it, ruck consent, and giving away free kicks. Like, it's a bit frustrating. Anyway. Yeah,
the amount of free kicks he's given away in like ruck contests is pretty frustrating as well. I think
it could be these new rules. He's trying to like take advantage of the new rules, and it hasn't quite worked yet.
No, it hasn't. The Ultimate Fitness Adventure Camp, sub footy people. Who's got Darcy and who's got Powell? Who's got captain options for Sarong straight up? So I'm worrying about Sam Darcy next week. I think I know 3 of us are getting Tom Powell. Are you getting Tom Powell, Freo?
Yeah. I think, like, I mean, with the way that of the mid prices, mass is probably the priority if, if you need to fix your back lines. But I got mass last week, so I can afford to get Powell in this week. And yeah, moving on, Young, who I actually think may come good down the track, but I don't think we can afford to wait, especially when it's like best 18 scoring and stuff, and the fact that he's going to drop money. So,
and the fact he plays for Freo.
In a normal year, you probably just keep him. I mean, some people would keep off, but more people would keep him. I'm getting in for Sheasel, and Powell's coming in for Sexton.
Yeah,
I had a little bit of money in the bank, so
nice. I like that.
I've got pretty happy with my forward line. So Sexton's my weakest link.
Yep,
very true. Yeah, I was in the same situation as well. He's got captain options for Sarong straight up. I don't really know what that means. Does that mean that? I guess. So
is he going straight? Is he going straight C on Sarong?
Yeah, let us know, mate. I assume he's thinking maybe if he vice captain Dacos, or if he's vice captaining someone this Arvo, or not too sure with that. But Sarong's a good option, I reckon. He seems to be a bloke that's taken another step this year, and he's a hard bloke to tag as well. Freeze FC Neil could come back worrying next week trade. I'm going to wait, especially at his age as well. I'll probably just rather wait until the bye rounds to worry about Lockie Neal. Frankie Pullis, thank you for joining, mate. Ryan Dempsey versus Mass and Powell. I'd go Massimo and Powell.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, they're both going to make lots of money.
Yeah.
I mean, like Dempsey, and I think Ryan's going to be, probably top 4 in defence. But I don't know. I think it also, you want at least one of Mass or Powell. So if you can get them both, do it.
Yeah, and I think Massimo is probably the number 1 trade target for everyone this week. Is the footy on yet? No, starts at 4:20, so we're on the live stream now. Harley Sports Talk. By the way, Harley Sports Talk, I will get you on a live stream at some point this season as well. I know you're starting to come up into the world in YouTube, so we'll get you on board there. Grundy days of relevancy are over. He might have the occasional good game, but the consistency won't be there. Seems like the case. And, I thought we've only got 3 games worth of data with Grundy, but it certainly does seem like that this might be the last sort of year where we really think about Grundy SuperCoach wise. What do you reckon, boys?
I still really like Grundy as a player, but I think his days of SuperCoach relevancy might be coming to an end.
Yeah. He might hit a bit more form when we get into the wetter months and use more stoppages and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty free-flowing end-to-end football everyone's playing at the moment because of the weather and the way things are at the start of the year. Except for that awful quarter from Hawthorn, but most of them are playing pretty attacking footy. So, the rucks aren't getting used as much. It's been pretty low stoppage across the board, I think.
That's very true. There's a lot more speed in the game now, and that really seems to be the catchphrase now that every club's doing. It's speed, speed, speed. So,
trying to transition the ball quickly to give the forwards a chance one-on-one.
Absolutely. So, I think the stand rule as well has helped with that sort of style as well, where you just get more players running for the handoff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Causa, the ladies' man, Blackledge. Thoughts on Windsor to Powell, Young to Massimo, and Wines to Sheasel. Yes, I like this a lot. Yep. What do you boys think?
Yep. It's a win.
Yeah.
Yep. Lock that in.
I go for that.
And Causa as well. I know you're a North Melbourne man, so I know you'd love to get Harry Sheasel in as well. I think he should do pretty good today. Owen Marley, thank you for jumping on, mate. Massimo Powell McKercher, I believe that's McKercher.
Yeah.
540k, or Ryan Powell McKercher 140k. Plan to bring in 2 primos next week. What's your boys' preference? I think you can't skip Massimo, so for that, I'd go the first option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Agreed.
nasty in a best 18 week having 540 on the, but it'd be really nice to be able to target some of these guys coming off their buys.
Yeah.
You know, Flanders or a Took or a Whitfield even. I think Whitfield would be close to top 6 in defence this year.
Yeah, I like Whitfield a lot.
Role and just the way that GWS are playing and stuff, they love to give the ball to him, and he's looking pretty good if he can stay fit. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, I started him, so I got him for like whatever it was, 5.15 or something. He was cheaper than Young.
Yeah, no, that's a very
But I
smart
miss
pick.
Diesel, so it's like what you're robbing Peter.
Yeah,
to pay
yeah.
Paul.
I think our starting teams would be a lot different if the bye rounds didn't exist. There would be a lot less stuff to worry about. I reckon that's for sure. So hopefully that's answered your question, mate.
Yeah.
I think most of us are in agreement to go with the first one. But as you said, though, Freo, it's a little bit annoying to have that much money in the bank for best 18. So maybe just something I want to tell.
I mean, especially if Ryan pops again and pops a 140 or something, like you'd just be sitting there going, oh, maybe I should just spend money.
Oh, exactly.
But
you'll have to just a day tag.
Long term, you'll want that first one.
Yeah,
the cash.
Holly Sports Talk, thanks, mate. I love that. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. We'll get you on at some point, mate. Delwyn Johns, Ryan or Butters? I'm probably going Butters.
Yeah, Butters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plays for a better team.
Yeah. I could have got Butters this week. I've already got Green and Sarong and Bont, and I could have got Butters as well this week, but it would have left me completely cashless and no way to get close to Flanders next week. So I've decided to go Sheasel instead, and I'm holding over about 100K, and hopefully it'll mean that I can somehow get someone to Flanders next week when it's back to 22 on field. So that's my sort of plan there anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, question for you guys.
Yeah.
If Berry gets named as sub and he's got a -3 break even, would you hold him for one more week and swap out a Wines or something and upgrade him instead and just sort of ride the cash on a Berry? Or would it be like push out as much cash as you can?
Sam Berry, didn't he get
Yeah.
dropped?
Yeah.
He's been dropped completely. He's not even in the 23.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Never mind. I didn't know that. It just says orange. It doesn't say red on my screen.
Yeah, no. So that means he's an emergency. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not ideal for Berry owners. So
No.
Owen Marley, my idea next week is 2 of Martin Wines or Jordan to Sarong and Ryan next week. Also Caulfield to Sam Darcy. Oh, so this is the same bloke from the question before with having 540K in the bank.
Yeah.
I think Jordan, we're not too far off from trading, but probably until his buy. Nick Martin and Wines, I think they're perfectly fine to move off, and Caulfield to Darcy. Then so you must have a bit of DPP going, so there's no issues there.
Yeah.
I like that thought process. I think most of us agreed with your first option because of Massimo there. So make sure you get them in. Could be any 2 primos. Yeah. So the world's your oyster with that one, mate.
Yeah.
Nick Rance, thanks for jumping on, mate. I got a dilemma. Could either go Ryan, Stewart, and Dempsey, or try a 2-for-1 deal with Nazai, Wangane, Miller, and Powell. Both trades for Young and Berry. I can use Martin/Grundy as scapegoats. There's a lot to take in here.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to go like a primo defender and Dempsey, or you get Powell and Wangaleen Valera. So Nas and Powell, or Stewart Dempsey, or Ryan Dempsey.
How close do we see Nazai getting to top 6-8 defender?
It's a tough one. I don't think it's top 6, so that's why.
Really?
No, I don't think Nazai's top 6. I think
Yeah.
I think he's around the mark.
We haven't seen Sinclair really fire up yet. Like, he's only played 1 game, so I think as he gains fitness and starts to get more ball down there. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to Nass either. He might get moved up onto the wing. They've just lost 2 wingers in Henry and
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. Does Wilson will play wing probably on one, and then
Wilson and Burns.
This new guy they're bringing in's a halfback.
What's his name? Angus Hasty, I think.
Hasty,
Yeah, but he's probably going to be the sub.
Yeah, maybe.
The sub, yeah. Well, I know they brought in Lance Collard for a game and then got him sub for that game. So, so look, this I'd probably go with. I really like Tom Powell.
There's a chance he's a keeper.
He is a 312K, and that's pure gold right there. So I'd probably go the second option just purely because of Tom Powell, but I don't think you can really go wrong either way there, mate.
Yeah.
Could you wait a week on Tom Powell, or do you reckon it's now a bust? Like if he drops a 50 this week against Carlton, which Carlton got a tough midfield, would you be surprised?
With a full CBA role, 50's pretty piss poor.
Yeah.
Maybe a 65 or something, but
yeah.
And then, he'll be 340K then or something. So, I mean, he's still probably worth it at 340K, but depends. I mean, if you had Newcomb in the midfield and you didn't have Mass or, if you had some other bigger problems, then you probably could, could avoid Powell maybe. I don't know.
Because I was saying to Steve the other day, I was going to go really ballsy and go Wines, Grundy, Young, sacrifice Powell this week and just wait a week. And with Wines, Grundy and Young out, I could grab Butters, Sarong, and then I could loop Williams and Hawes score with Caulfield.
Yeah, well. And you got Mass already, yeah?
I've already got Mass. So that's what I'm kind of thinking is I could do a huge play. And then in my midfield with Butters and Sarong, I'd have Bont, Steele, Took, and then Sarong Butters. It'd be huge. Is
there still room for those 3, big 3 rookies?
Yeah, correct.
So I structured up like that. I got 4 defensive premiums to start with because I didn't trust the rookies, and looks like that was the way to go in a way. I just wish I'd started Jackson. You started Jackson, didn't you, Damo?
Yeah, I started Jackson.
Same.
Yeah, great. Good move, guys. That was one that I missed.
I also don't think Jackson will completely dissipate when Sean Darcy comes into the side either.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
If I had Jackson next week, I'd probably trade Grundy to Flanders and just put Jackson in at ruck 2 for a couple of weeks. Because I think Flanders is going to be great and Grundy's just kind of leveled off and he's not. I mean, he might go all right against West Coast, but who knows?
Does with Flanders, does 39% CBAs last week concern you? Because it seems like they've got a really tight-knit CBA rotation going on where it's Anderson, Rao, and Miller for every CBA, and then if one of them's resting on the bench, then Flanders comes in. Does that concern you one bit? Because I wouldn't like to see that go any lower.
His low CBAs have me pretty confident that he'll drop a stinker at some point and be gettable at some point down the season. So I don't see him as a must-have off his buy just now. If you can get him in, then great. But I think the low CBAs is a good indication that he'll drop a stinker sometime soon.
But he was on that sort of percentage CBAs at the end of last year when he was putting out some big scores. So doesn't necessarily mean that he has to have. I don't think he's going to get much more than about 40% on average anyway, being that fourth one. I thought they might use Anderson a little bit less in there, and he's right up there. So he's been pushed out to the wing before and stuff and got less CBAs, but it looks like he's almost number one, him and Rao.
Yeah.
I started Took over Rao, and I'm hoping that pays off in the long run because I still reckon Took out averages Rao from here on out.
Yeah, I like Took as a selection.
Yeah.
He's just really consistent usually.
Yeah, he is.
Whereas Rao can have these massive games, and then he can sort of, I don't know, just like if it's not working for him, he can put up 80s quite easily. Whereas I don't know, Took always seems to be like between 90 and 130. It just seems to be his spot, you know. He's pretty good like that.
Yeah.
When he's fit, obviously.
Yeah.
Last time he wasn't fit, but
we love Took. Joe from the centre bounce. Bloody hell, this is the Avengers level ensemble. Yeah, we've done all right here. Made a couple of calls, and it's good to have everyone on here. So get these absolute legends on. So we've done all right here. The Ultimate Fitness Adventure Camp is this year ... a greater uphill battle than every other year. Jesus, how far are the leaders? Is there still hope with Nick Dacos? He could that he could twist and turn badly again. Could be a trade option. If you didn't trade him this week, I wouldn't bother now. He'll drop a bit of coin, and no, I don't think Dacos is a. I think Dacos will be fine. We saw his second half where he was just fantastic, and I feel I won't lie. I mean, I know that we got the early buy rounds, but with all these good options, I feel like this will be one of the easier Supercoach seasons. To be honest, I don't think there's really any excuse for anyone to not finish with a start and to have a full primo team this year. So,
Hey, I've got a question for the Freo boys. What do you think of Warner coming through as a rookie once he's cleared for a concussion next week?
I
think he's facing an uphill battle to get back in the team, to be honest.
Wow.
Because Chapman is going to be a test next week, and so is Nathan O'Driscoll, which I think is ahead of it. Both are probably ahead of him at this stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Walker was that sort of small defender, and he had that spot all last year, and then he became fit. Just happened to be fit, but he probably wanted one more week out. But Warner was probably going to get another game and then almost be dropped for him anyway.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Dodge the bullet then.
Sort of penciling him in as I like him. He's got a good kick. He's a good player, but I'm not sure whether he's best 22. But,
I think Freo had like 9 players or 10 players on their injury list this week, and next week that could halve with the amount of players that might come off it. So they're getting healthy at a good time.
Yep. A fun fact as well about Carl Warner, he worked at the Minor 10 just before I joined, and before he got picked up by Freo. So shout out to him. Hopefully he's recovering well from concussion. Delwyn Johns prefer Butters as well, but leaves Hort at D6, and Roberts moves to the Pine next week, which feels weak. Yeah, then maybe go right. Maybe go. So this was from. Do you prefer Ryan or Butters? I believe. Yeah. So maybe because of that, I'd almost go Luke Ryan instead then, because you don't want Roberts on the Pine. Or, I mean, Hall. I don't think Hall will be sub this week. I think it'll be Woden. So.
Okay.
For what it's worth there. But it's pretty clear that Hall's job security is pretty average. Chabby Joe, 2 options: Ryan Sarong, Darcy versus Massimo Sarong and Powell.
The second one.
Second one.
Yeah,
the second one.
Save Darcy for next week.
Yep, agree.
It's tempting to get him in early against the Eagles, but I think it's worth waiting. I mean, he has had a bit of an injury history and stuff as well. He could roll an ankle or something and be out for 3 weeks. And I mean, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but yeah, you don't want to go too early.
No.
And then the Western Bulldogs would have to go back to Rory Lobb and then...
No.
I can yell at the TV every time he goes near the ball.
I think they'll burn Marvel Stadium down if they see Rory Lobb names in the team this week.
Is he the tyrant victory of the Bulldogs?
Rory Lobb. I don't think his girlfriend even likes him. He's a fucking idiot. Anyway.
Yeah, so we go to the second option there. Owen Marley, appreciate you boys. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you for jumping on the stream. Theo Manos, hey lads, thank you for jumping on. Hey lads, my final trades are D'Ambrosio, Powell, Dempsey, out for Lions, Caulfield, McDonald.
Oscar McDonald, maybe?
Is it Oscar McDonald?
It might be.
I'm drawing blanks here with what McDonald that could be.
It wouldn't be Luke McDonald, surely.
I hope not.
Well, I don't know how because that's 2 defenders and a midfielder for 2 forwards and a defender. So
Must have a lot of DPP.
something's going on there. But
yeah.
He might have had Dacos in his mids or something.
Yeah.
Maybe Yo as well or something. So no, that's I think we're all in agreement there that is a perfectly fine move. Nick Rance, thanks lads. It's a dilemma I've been working on. Might be able to sacrifice Martin here to maybe still get an okayish defender premium still in power. I think that was from the question with Ryan/Stewart and Dempsey, or 2 for 1 sort of thing. So, Yep. Hippo Supercoach, g'day gents. Love your work, Hippo. You're battling with Supercoach Pro for the biggest unit in the Supercoach community. So,
I think I take that cake by far, just to say that, Hippo.
do a collab with him and see how much you can both deadlift.
We might need a widescreen for that because we won't be able to both fit in the same stream.
You're Joe Hippo Supercoach King Joe. Maver.
Hippo's gone from like the most sort of aggressive trade dude. And then this week, like this year, for some reason, he's like, "No, I'm holding them. I'm holding them." I think it's really funny. It's like he's really.
He does.
Yeah, he's changed his tune a little bit, but everyone else is boosting their asses off, and Hippo's like, "I'm holding." But I know once he starts, he's just going to be all guns for blazing. Anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to ignore the boosts at the minute. Maver, hey guys, should I be picking Butters or Sarong? I can't split them. Good to get the Freo boys' view here on Sarong. Yeah, so they'll come in handy because Freo are very relevant. So I personally prefer Butters. But what do you boys think? You boys will have a better read on it.
Much of a muchness. Whichever one you like better.
Yeah, they're both perfectly fine.
I actually like Sarong better.
Sarong?
Yeah. Sarong's about 15k cheaper, but I think if they were the same, I'd pick Butters probably. I don't know. There's something about Butters. It's like, he just seems, I don't know. Sarong's great, but Butters just does stuff that's like a bit freakish. He might have slightly lower floor though. I think Butters. He's got that huge ceiling, but Sarong's pretty even, you know.
And Butters has more of a tendency to hit the scoreboard, whereas Sarong's kind of just in the middle.
Yeah, he won't kick.
He almost kicked 2 against North though.
Yeah, almost. He got touched on the line, 2 of them. I had him for captain that week, so I was watching that with. It could have been 160, but I'll take a 141 until everyone got Captain Butters, and a few got Jackson too. You get Jackson? Oh, someone from our little group over there, DR's little message.
I know.
Had Jackson.
So Supercoach Whisperer, who is mostly Supercoach NRL, he's been messaging me trying to get advice for his AFL team. He vice captained Luke Jackson after I told him that he was against North Melbourne, and he was quite happy with himself for having that.
That's who it was. Yeah, that Supercoach Whisperer. Yeah, cool. That would have been nice.
Yeah. So Maver, just pick whoever you like. Hopefully, we gave you a bit of help with that. This was back from the Flanders talk. Flanders doesn't need box CBAs to score well. Check his scores from last year. Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
But I wouldn't like to see that go any lower. And I think there is a chance to drop a bad score soon.
Yeah, and when I say a bad score, I don't mean like a 40 points. I mean like there'll be a point in time where his BE gets to like 140, 150, and he scores 80, and then his price comes all the way back down again. So, I'm not talking about him dropping a random 40, but yeah.
The other thing is, which is probably another reason why you don't need to be necessarily in a hurry to get him, is that we seem to have quite a few good like mid prices and rookies that we can play on field in the forward line.
Yep, absolutely.
And 3 of the next 4 weeks are going to be best 18 anyway. So you can almost, like, if you don't think he's going to explode in price, you can almost wait a little bit and just play those guys out. Try and get max. Maybe Jordan on his bye. That might be one you could look at getting up to someone like Flanders.
Yep. No, nice. He plays high half forward and gets the pill in transition. Yeah. Flanders is fine to bring in or whatnot, but I do think he can drop a bad score pretty soon. Harley Sports Talk. Nazai Wangane Malira's floor would worry me as an owner. That's the thing. I feel like he could be a bloke that could get tagged, and he doesn't have much diversity to his game. Where if they can nullify his main good attributes, then I feel like he could drop in a stinker if they put a tag on him or something. What do you think?
Yeah.
I still like him as a pick. Like, I've been tempted pretty much all week to still bring him in, but I've just, after talking with you guys for the last 40 minutes, I've just gone full balls to the wall, and I've done what I said I would do. Instead, I've just gone Young, Wines, Grundy out for Sarong, Butters, and Williams, and I'll skip on Powell this week.
Send it, mate. Absolutely send it.
Sarong and in one tray, that'd feel good.
Yeah, I just don't got any. I'm looking at my VCs and Cs, and I've got no one that I like apart from like Stewart, Bonds, Steele, like Jackson, but they don't feel like a Butters Sarong, and I don't have Green in the midfield, and that really hurt me early on.
Oh, you went Took instead of Green, didn't you?
Yeah, just for the money's sake, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I need to find a way to get Tom Green in myself.
He's owned by 48%, isn't he? Almost.
Yeah. So that's a massive worry. Yeah,
that's why. Yeah,
I started him and Whitfield in the back, so I've got 2 on the bench. So, but I went the 4 defenders. You see, so I started. I think Whitfield was D4 for me when SuperCoach opened. So I had Young, and I went Houston and Dacos. I mean, I probably should have gone Sheasel instead of Houston, and then that would have freed up another 50K or whatever for different stuff.
Sounds like you got a few pods in there.
Yeah, I got a few different players. I got Rosie instead of Butters, which was fucking shit last week. But that fucking killed me, man. Fucking 80 points difference. And like their stat line didn't look that different. Like it was just.
Do you know how hard it was to watch that Richmond and Port Adelaide game? I was on a tin today and I was watching it at her house. I just wanted to throw her remote in the TV.
Yeah, I was at home, had the captain on Butters. I was loving the game. Yeah, I must say.
Mate. I just kept looking at it going, why isn't Rosie moving? And Butters is just ticking up like this. It was just like so hard to watch.
Yeah, and
I was waiting for Butters to go on the bench.
In the fourth quarter, he actually got a bit of cramp and then spent a fair bit of time on the bench and deep forward. So he could have gone 200.
He left a 190 out there. He really did.
He could have gone even better, mate.
Yeah.
And also that pretty average free kick in 50 towards the end of the second quarter certainly helped him as well. I thought there was a bit of Mary put on that from Butters. I absolutely loved it. Hoping to get Took in next week. That's perfectly fine. Still at a good price, still good value. I prefer him over Steele and Crouch personally as well. Ibo SuperCoach, his thing has got me covered. Yeah, so I don't know. There's a video idea for you, Brad. Get team up with Hippo and do a gym tutorial.
True, could do. Yeah, don't know if we'll get many viewers.
Well, we'll collab sometime soon as well, mate. Don't you worry about that. Oh, and Marley, anyone here still got Martin? I shipped him off last week. Don't know about you boys.
I didn't start him.
I shipped him off last week.
Oh yeah, I got rid of him too. I'm trying to think.
I think Martin's a fine hold, but it's just the thing is like midfield spots are so important this at the minute, and just it feels like he's taken up one of those important spots, and then there's just a lot of other opportunities elsewhere. But I think Martin's not the worst hold. Like I think we'll sort of get a good read on him this week because St Kilda do leak a lot of points to defenders. So a bloke like Martin could go off the chain there. But there was talks over the preseason about how poor his disposal was. I think in the Pracky game he was pretty poor with disposal, and then we saw in round 1 he was a bit better last week, but there's certainly those concerns with him there.
Yeah, Essendon did bring in, I think Redmond's back and they're playing Kelly again, and so they brought in a couple more defenders. So
I think Ridley's back soon too.
Yeah.
I
also think, like, with someone like Martin, you want to get him to, I mean, I traded him for Sarong. You want to get him to a big mid in that spot. No use just sort of going sideways to a Crouch or something like that may not end up being one of those top 8s. So if you are going to trade Martin, I'd say try and get him to a Butters or a Tom Green next week, or even Took next week or something, like get him to someone you're going to be happy with in that midfield, rather than mucking about with these sort of M8 types. I mean, Steele might be good enough. I still don't quite trust Steele to sort of go that 110 plus for the whole year. He might, but
I brought Steele in for Martin because I think he can do 110 plus on the flip side to that, I reckon.
He's not the worst M8 to have.
I don't think he is either. And he's very good, very well priced. So it's probably not the worst play. But for now, I think, for me anyway, early in the season, you go for the best. And then later on, if you need to compromise, you can. So that's kind of my thinking around it, is trying to get in, the Butters and the Greens and the Sarongs, if you can, at this time of year, and then just hold them a year, because some of them might not get under 600K the way they're playing at the moment. And they will, but you might be waiting till round 16 or something to try and get them in. And most of the season's gone by then, so you can get them.
That's what I hate too. That's why I'm getting FOMO and bringing in Butters and Sarong now, because if I don't do it now, they go to 700K by round 4 or 5, and then I'm priced out. And then, by the time you've left all those points on the field anyway, and you're not grabbing them until, like you said, back in the season.
Yeah. I mean, if I get Butters now, then I'll have, I suppose I'm losing Young. So, I'm just loading up on those round 13 buy players. So, I know it's a good buy, but I'm actually going to probably struggle that week in a way. I
think we all will.
I've got Houston, Butters. Oh, sorry, not Butters. Rosie, Sarong. We might have Jackson by then.
Luke Ryan.
Luke Ryan. I haven't got Luke Ryan, but I like him as a pick. But I have. He's always really good at the start of the year. We'll see what happens if he drops off it once the weather gets a bit worse and stuff. But he marks it a lot. He looks amazing at the moment, but he did this last year as well, and then had a bit of a down patch towards the middle of the year, and then came home really strong. So, I think he's a good pick. But I think if I was going to spend over 600 on someone at the moment, I'd rather get a Butters or a Sarong than a Ryan.
True.
Because there's other good defenders in that sort of 550 range, whereas I don't think there's that many midfielders in that range that you can, like a Sheasel or something. There's not too many 550K midfielders that I'd really trust. I mean, Steele maybe Took. I guess he's 570 now or something, isn't he? 580.
Yeah, I think he's something like 570. As well with the round 13 buy, what I find interesting as well, because I remember last year, so it's the same setup as last year. 2 teams have got one buy round in the season, so it's like but last year we only had it was Gold Coast and Geelong, and we only had Tom Stewart and Noah Anderson, I guess, as premiums, where this year we got a lot more other options for that round 13 buy. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm happy to fully tank in round 13 just to set up my team with the other boys. Shaggy, thoughts on Young to Pink? Lets me get in Sarong and Power. I think that's fine, mate.
Yeah. I'd still be a bit worried if Young's your D3 and you're going down to Pink, and that means you've got say Mass and Zach Williams and 2 rookies on field. It's pretty thin down back.
Yeah.
If Young's your D4, go for it.
If you had to field Pink, I wouldn't do it.
Are you guys sold on
It's probably all right, but
I hate him.
next week you'll probably have to.
He scored most of his points in the first quarter. He's a key defender. He'll average like 45. He'll make you 80K. Oh my god, my housemate's doing vacuuming. I got to move. But yeah, I hate Pink as a selection.
I think North Melbourne are coming up against really strong key forwards for the next couple of weeks as well. So you might have to play a lot more accountable. So he'll probably have to play on one of Mackay or Curnow today. That sort of thing. I don't mind those moves. Hazza, Young to Ryan and Martin, or Young to Ryan and Ryan Steele. So it's like you're either going. It's like you're either going
or Wines, basically going out.
Martin or Wines. I would trade Wines first, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with Horn Francis still out for another week or two. Depends. Yeah, who knows? I mean, is Drew going to get another long run through there? He scored 140 last week. Fucking Drew. And you got
I think Drew is hurting Wines as well. I think know. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, probably whoever play you prefer, actually.
Who do you like, Damo?
I'm just having a look now. I actually think I would keep Ollie Wines.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can understand that. Yeah.
His break even. I think he's got a better break even Wines. He's not really going to lose any money. Whereas Martin, if he puts up another 80 or something, he's gonna drop 20K.
Yeah. I mean, Martin's done like a 68 and a 93 or something, and then Ollie Wines has done 94 and 99, so he hasn't been terrible. And for 463K, he doesn't actually need to average too much more than what he is to make a little bit of cash. But he's not the worst hold at the moment, especially in best 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like the first pick.
Fancast, great work, lads. Yeah, thank you for letting me on. Yesterday, it was good fun doing the podcast with Jake and Joe from the Centre Bounce. That was good fun. Thank you, Fancast. Alex, English or Bont as captain? Bont went big last year. However, he could be laid out or subbed. I prefer English as a captain anyway, but I'd probably go English.
I mean, they said Bont was fine and would line up, but who knows if they get to the 80 points up and then he gets subbed out or what? But I mean, Eagles beat them in this fixture last year, so who knows what happens?
Yeah,
fair enough. David Lynch, pick your poison. I can only move one of Hayden Young or Short. You can only move one.
Young.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, Short's still got the role. I think he can come back. I think he can bounce a bit, at least,
Probably Hayden Young, I would say. But ideally, you probably try to move off both before the prices change there.
Yeah. I mean, probably keep Short till his buy at least, and then you could probably flip him at his buy.
That's probably a good move as well. D-Mac, pink in for Caulfield, worth a boost. Demo defense has got 2 dead rookies. Do you reckon that's worth a boost?
No.
I don't think that's worth a boost.
No.
Neither.
We've got Caleb Mitchell debuting for the Swans this week. We've got some players who will get DPP in a couple of weeks, who might be okay to jump on even after a couple of price rises. Just hold for now. As long as you've got 6 playing in your defense, I think you can hold the 2 dead rookies for now.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I wouldn't do it, D-Mac. Blessy, I don't know. Sam Naismith in for Rusty Dusty. So I don't think this is for Supercoach. I think that's a change that's been made. I think Dusty's out. And then they've chucked in Sam Naismith. So for anyone who started Sam Naismith, that's probably a good result for you. but just not sure where he's going to play. Are they going to?
Is he on the bubble?
Sorry.
I think if that's the case, I'm actually concerned for Nank. It means you sort of hold Grundy, because the only reason why you'd name him is if Nank's got sort of injury concerns and he could be laid out. But I don't see Naismith as getting a lot of time on ground. He's not much of a forward, so I don't know. I don't know really with that pick. It's really strange. I wouldn't be fielding him unless you really had to.
Did he just play the one game, or is he on the bubble?
Yeah, played the one game and got dropped.
Yeah, okay. So if he plays again today, he gets a score, then he'll be on the bubble after that.
Yeah, correct. Yes, he would be.
Not that.
But I don't know. It's sort of a useless R3 because I don't think he'll get more than 5 games unless Nank gets injured. Then I'll jump on him.
Very true.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, if he looks like he's going to get an extended run, I'd just move Livingston to the forward bench and turn a forward rookie into him if he looks like
same.
he's get some cash.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's why I started the 102, ruck forward. So at least you got the flexibility to get him in if you need to. But
yeah, that's right.
You'd want to know that he's got a bit of a run, and 5 or 6 weeks or something, and be on the bubble and all that stuff. Because he's a bit of an injury concern as well.
Yeah, he is.
He's missed a lot of football, so I don't know how he's going in the VFL. Is he still playing? Has it started?
He's playing VFL. He's playing pretty well. He played well on the weekend. Yeah,
cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I rate him as a selection if he can get a run because first rucks they usually make good coin and they can make it quick too.
It's just he doesn't got any forward craft, like in what I've seen from games anyway. Like, he kicked the goal from 50 the other day, but he's not one where he can plonk down forward for 50% of the ground, time on ground, sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems weird that he's named in the same side as Nank. I mean, Soldo was more of a tap ruckman, and it meant Nank went forward a bit, and he's okay up forward as Nank Curvis.
Yeah, but I mean, with Richmond's defense being a little bit depleted for key position players, Nank has had success playing like an intercepting role down back, as almost resting as that third tall. So we could see a bit more of a split where Nank might even start games across half back as that resting sort of intercepting player. But yeah, like you said, Nank's also good up forward. So it might mean that Naismith plays a little more through the ruck, and the ruck split is a little more even. And then who knows what to make of the selections there.
Yeah, because with Naismith too, like, you got to remember, Richmond are fielding a tallish back line. Bolter there, you've got Young back there, you've still got Grimes there. They're all over 190. Putting Nank there would be a little bit weird because then you got no run and carry. Like, Vlosten's an interceptor; he's not a run and carry guy. You've only got Rioli there off half back and short, so it'd be a little bit too top heavy if Nank was to float there too often. But definitely structure wise, if they took out one of those guys, yeah, it'd make sense.
They probably want Bolter forward to be up against the Swans.
Sorry, yeah, he has been playing forward. I just had a brain fart then, but yeah, I just prefer him back. I know he's playing all right forward, but I'd rather see Lynch and somebody else go forward, even Dusty plonk forward for a bit more than Bolter.
I just think his mobility forward is good because, like, Lynch is like on rail, like he just goes in one direction. He can't. Yeah. He can't really tackle and chase and do all that stuff. Whereas Bolter's like, he's real mobile and he's like, I wouldn't want him chasing me down. Like, he's quick.
No. We grabbed a guy named Cozzy and that didn't work, did it?
Well, you can at least put the forward pressure on and stuff and try and lock it in there,
Yeah, that's right.
Having too many guys that are, like Lynch won't be tackling much and stuff. They just run around him. So, yeah, they need at least someone down there that can give a bit of that pressure.
True.
Yeah, because even back in the day, Rewalt was okay at that too. He'd put on a bit of forward pressure and he'd tackle a bit and stuff for a big guy. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's all about kind of trying to keep it in your forward half these days. It seems to me like that anyway. Transition and then lock it in. But
yeah. No, very true. And Marley, that convo had me think it's crazy. Is it crazy to keep Bonner and trade out Martin instead? Then I'd have 750k in the bank, but downside is Martin could become good and score more. You'd have 750k in the bank.
It's a lot.
Wow, wait. Um, I'd keep Martin. No, I'd trade out Martin, actually, yeah. I think
I mean, Bonner's still got a pretty low break even.
Yeah, exactly.
In a best 18 week, if he puts up another stinky 60, it probably just drops out of you. You know what I mean? Like, probably drops out anyway. So, I don't know. He might go 90 or something and surprise you. But I'd still have plans to get rid of him in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be holding him long term. But I think he's okay to hold for another week because he's low break even.
Yeah, and I think we saw the best from Riley Bonner and the worst from Bonner in the first 2 weeks. Yeah. And I just reckon he'll sort of go around the 80 mark. So, yeah, probably just find his way to be roughly in the middle of what those scorings are. So, yeah, I'd probably keep Bonner. And he also said it'll be an extra cash save play. Is it worth in your opinion? Yeah, but 750K is a lot of money. But that's all right. But just remember it's best 18, so that's probably 750K not in your side for this week. So might be. It's maybe a little bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. That's sort of.
I think it also depends on if you've got 750K in the bank and you've got Tom Green on the bench and Flanders on your forward bench and, a Took or a Whitfield, it's like depends on what other primos you've got out this week. Like if you're not carrying any of those Gold Coast premiums and stuff, you're probably okay because a lot of people are going to have at least one, if not two of these guys on the bench. So, whereas if you are carrying a couple of them and you've got all that money in the bank, you're probably going to slip behind the pack a little bit this week.
Yeah.
Which might be okay long term for cash gen, but it's sort of team dependent,
Very true. Yeah. Shaggy, Young is D4, Pink is D7, so I believe this is coming back.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's okay. Yeah. Then he's probably all right getting in Pink for Young if that's the best rookie.
Yeah, that's
because it means Mass will then be D4 and Zach Williams D5 and Howe's D6, which is, I think you can run that back line.
Yeah, that's
D7
fine.
And Reed as a dead rook there next to him. So I think that's all right.
Have most of us got Zach Reed still and just sort of holding?
Yeah, I'm holding Zach Reed. I'm waiting for a good defensive rookie to come along.
Yeah. It's not worth the trade at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the thing what I might end up doing is just holding him until the DPP changes. And then when I'll move like a McKercher back up there or and get in a mid rookie or whatever.
Yeah, that's smart.
If no defensive rookies come along, and then you've got like Roberts and McKercher that you can swing back and forth between the mid and Nick Dacos as well and stuff. So ideally, if he's not ready to go by then you can probably get him out for a mid rookie or something.
Yeah. No, I think it's just more of a wait and see with Zach Reed for the time being. Blitzy, I'll be keeping an eye on Angus Hasty from St Kilda, 117k defender. I think I saw something on Twitter yesterday that his junior numbers weren't that good, and I don't really know much about him. Do any of you boys know much about
I think he played one VFL game and he got 74 fantasy or something. That was the only thing I saw on Twitter. So
that's all right.
But he's a Geelong Falcons kid, I think. Yeah,
and he's a first-year player as well. So Ross Lyon must really like him because it does take a fair bit for Ross to get a debutant in. So
they reckon he's quick and he's hard, like he's a bit of a hard nut. So Ross likes them like that. If they can run and they're not afraid to tackle and put their head over the ball, then they can get. Well, he'll give them a chance,
Yeah. Hasty's one we can sort of see how it plays out. But I think as well with St Kilda as well, I think job security as well. One thing I've noticed is that debutants, they've got to do really well to stay in the side with the Saints as well. So, and Marley, I only have Tom Green. I have with the bye this week. I want to upgrade, but need McKercher, Massimo, and Powell. Yeah, that's fair enough then.
Well,
must haves those first two, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. McKercher's. I mean, I can't believe we're even debating people that. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but people were like, "Oh, we don't need McKercher," and I'm like, "You guys are idiots." Like, look at his junior numbers. Like, he's got the role. He's just had one bad game, and all like jumping off. I'm like, he's probably going to be the best rookie. He'll probably win the Rising Star. Like, seriously, just fucking crazy talk. And they're all like, no. And people are going Berry over him. And I'm like, Berry's a fringe fucking player, like with no skills. Like, and you've got a top 10 draft pick. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And they're paying more for Berry in a mid spot. Baffled me. Anyway.
Imagine starting Fife only to know that he's got sub potential all season, but you still start him anyway.
Yeah, but they started the name. Like, I don't know too many Freo supporters that started him.
Yeah, no.
I started him, but he's at top of my list for first cab off the rank when I'm doing my upgrades.
Yeah, I'll just start in the pot.
I can see why in a way. Like, we did lose a few of those guys early, like with Billings being sub and so there was a lot of those, and we were filling our forward line with a lot of those mid-price guys, and
that's right.
And a couple sort of dropped away and stuff. I can see why people might have jumped on Fife, I guess, but I always was avoiding it.
Jordan was the safest pick by the looks of it, doesn't it?
I just love watching him. I don't want to muck it up by him being in my SuperCoach side. I just want him to stay there. I'm like, it's almost like I feel like I'll jinx him if I put him in my side. So I'll stay out of that.
As well. Yeah, I think Jordan just has some good attributes to be a SuperCoach pick, so I just sort of backed it in. And I mean, he's just being consistent. I mean, he's scoring 80s every week, and I mean, he'll probably be one we move off on the buy round, but maybe we hold him for a bit longer. I'm not too sure.
Who's this?
James Jordan.
Yeah.
He's a good on-field scorer, but he's going to be a bloke that makes quick cash.
Yeah, I think you could probably hold him if you'd already jumped off Grundy, or if you're jumping off Grundy that week or whatever. Because, I mean, then you're still holding like Jordan, Heaney, and maybe Nick. I don't think you really want many more than three sort of. I mean, I guess he's a mid-pricer, but you don't really want three primos off on any of those buys, really.
No, like I currently have Heaney, Dacos, and Grundy, but the thought process is to move off Grundy and buy. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be doing that. It would take a lot.
How do you reckon Dacos will get price-wise?
I reckon he can get to 550.
You reckon he'll get that low?
I
He'd have to have another sub-ton this next week, probably, to get down that low.
Well, that's possible with Finn McGuinness next week.
Even if he scores 98 next week, he still will be 568k if he scores 98 next week.
Okay, 570, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's sort of float around that if he gets a 114 the following. So he'll be around between 570 really over the next few weeks, unless he does a stinker against Hawthorn, then he will go down, that low 530-ish mark, you'd think.
Yeah. Is anyone looking at Sinclair if he drops a bit of cash?
Nah.
Maybe. Depends
how. Do you think he's gone this year, or do you think he could still sort of bob up and be in that sort of 6 to 8 range in the defence?
That calf injuries sort of concern me as well. Like, he's been dealing with that all pre-season, so and it's just it can easily re-aggravate. So I'm not. Depends how cheap he got, but he's not current. I'm not currently thinking about him. It certainly seems like one where he could have a bit of a down season, SuperCoach wise. So there's a world where he could probably average under 100, but
I know he's got a pretty good run at Marvel and stuff post his bye. So maybe look at him later in the season if he's sort of regained his fitness. And
Yeah, we need to see him get back to form first.
Yeah. That last bye, round 15, is going to be pretty punishing, I reckon. People aren't really talking about the later buys because of what's going on with these earlier ones. But round 15's like, well, most of the good rucks, English, Marshall, and then it's Saints, Bulldogs. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got it up right now, but yeah, it's going to be a bit of a punish, I reckon.
Yeah, it seems to be every year, doesn't it? It seems like
The
that
last one, yeah.
round, a disgrace. Yeah, and I don't know how you guys sort out the mid-season buy rounds. I usually sort of load up on the plays with the first buy sort of thing. I don't know. It's just a random tactic I usually do.
Yeah, I like to actually save some players that are coming off that first buy, so you've got people to trade into as you go along.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
if that makes any sense. So, like whatever the round 12 is, I think it's Brisbane and probably Blues and someone else.
I think it's Brisbane, North, Sydney, and the Giants. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, so there'd be some pretty relevant players off that buy.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I always put heaps of time into trying to plan for the buys, and it still does stuff all for me anyway. So I think I'm just
I'm the same. I don't take any consideration when I start aside to my buys.
Oh, no. I did obviously for these early buys, but for players like Tom Green, I just thought I need to get on him. I'm willing to have that. And also, I also predicted that we're going to have a pretty strong midfield bench, so I figured you'd be able to cover him quite easily. Whereas I'm sort of more worried about covering Dacos in defence. Although I should have ours at D7 once everyone's back. So
that's all right
that
then.
Should be okay.
Yeah, that's fine then. We'll go for another 10 minutes, guys. So keep sending in your questions before we head on off. So just keep sending them through. We'll head off in about 10 minutes. Dave, hey fellas, what are your plans with Grundy? Are you going to flip him to a different ruck for his buy? Maybe Marshall English? Yeah, that's my plan. Looking to flip Grundy. I think English is going to be too expensive, so I'll probably go Rowan Marshall.
Yeah, I think that's most people's plans to jump off Grundy at his buy. He's not scoring terribly, but he isn't doing what people thought that they were going to get for 460k. So been a little bit disappointing. Even Tristan Sherry, who's much cheaper than him, is doing a bit better than Grundy. So there's options all around that people could jump to, and they're probably all better options.
Yeah,
I've culled him now and put
this week though. He'll put on 50k in a week. So
I've pushed Jackson to R2 and Marshall as R1 because I flipped Grundy into those Sarong and Butters pick instead. So I'm getting rid of him now, so I don't got so many players on the Sydney and Collingwood buy.
Yeah, as I said, I don't mind that play at all. I don't mind Jackson into the ruck for a few weeks or whatever until you sort out who you're going to get or who comes down a bit in price.
Yeah.
I think it's safe there for a month or whatever, or 3 weeks at least.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah, I think all of us are planning to I know Brad's moving off Grundy this week, but I think us three are certainly looking at flipping Grundy. Whether it's Marshall or English, we're not too sure. I mean, probably Marshall, but
I started Marshall.
Oh yeah, you started Marshall, so
I didn't start Gorn, which hurt last week, but or the week before or whatever when he went 160. But I'm quite happy with Marshall there, and I'm either going to go to Gorn or it doesn't look like English is going to come down anytime soon. So that was my ideal, but I've got Cherry there now, so he's going to need at least probably 3 or 4 or 5 weeks to make enough cash for me to move him off anyway. So maybe English has come down a bit by then. I'd ideally like to have English, but I will get Gorn if, once that 160 comes out of his price, he might even drop down to sort of 580 again or whatever.
Yeah.
Might be reasonably affordable.
The subs have been announced. Eddie Ford for North Melbourne and Fantasia for Carlton, as we thought.
Okay.
Right.
Fantasia.
It starts at what time does the game start? 4:20, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
and
That's
out.
a good.
Right,
That's a
fellas?
good time if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Good time.
Yep, keep sending in the questions, guys, before we head on off. About 8 minutes. Julian Anise, do you think Lyons comes in for Dev Rob next week? Don't think so. If you guys, I mean, it's probably too late now, but if you guys did have Jared Lyons, would you have moved off him yesterday?
Yeah.
With the way the Lions played last night, I don't think he's. If you still got him, maybe wait until team selection next week just to make sure he's definitely gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right.
They've got bigger problems than Lions at the moment. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with but they're, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all right. Global, g'day, lad. G'day, mate. Hope you're going all right. Thank you for jumping on. Harley Sports Talk. St Kilda have a ridiculous run home. I'd be considering all relevant players, especially Marshall. Yeah. I've heard about this Marvel run a little bit. And, I mean, I think usually I'd love to know the last time it took till round 3 for St Kilda played their first Marvel game of the season. So, apparently they've got a really good run there. So, yeah, Sinclair probably better under the roof as well. So
I think there's only 2 games after their round 15 bye that aren't at Marvel.
Bloody hell, really? That's pretty
Wow.
good.
So it's like 9 of 11 or something like that. No, 7 of 9 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, probably blokes like Sinclair will have a look at around then.
They're obviously not all home games. They play like the Blues there and North there and the Doggies and stuff like that. So, they play a lot of Marvel games.
Yeah. Skilts Fits. Fellas, is Powell a must? The only way I can get him in, whilst also bringing in Sarong and Ryan, is to move Grundy on and move Jackson at R2.
I don't mind it. I don't know if he's a must-have.
I wouldn't call him a must-have, but I think he's a very good target.
He's a good target. And, I mean, like you said, you could get him next week if you really wanted to do other things this week. He's still going to probably be a good buy, even 30K more than he is now.
Well, if he gets an 80, he goes to 60K. So it means he'll be 372 if he gets an 80. So
shit, that's quite a bit of money extra, actually. I thought it was more like you put on 30 or 40K, but if he's putting on 70K, you probably want to get him this week. Yeah, move Jackson at ruck too. I'd do that.
Yeah, and remember as well, I think so. Tom Powell, I know round 1 went 95 against the Giants, who were a really strong midfield, and then also round 2 when he played Freo, like they're no mugs in the midfield, and he still went 129, I think. So, I think I think we can expect 80 plus potentially today out of Tom Powell would be my guess.
Well, with LDU and stuff in there, he's not going to get any attention. It's not like that, someone's going to be leaning on him. He's going to get probably the second or the third best midfielder standing him. He's not getting the top one.
And also as well, like, there's not really anyone to take away his midfield minutes. Like they said, Simpkin will be playing more half forward this year anyway. Yeah. Will Phillips seems to be on the outer. I mean, you've got Liam Shields, I guess, but he's not being picked in the side. So
Hugh Greenwood is also around the traps as well, but who knows what happens with him.
Yeah, so it seems like George Wardlaw's time on ground's pretty low, so they're managing him a fair bit. So I think all guns blazing with Tom Powell. Brad, why is 420 a good time, mate?
I played the 5th. I have no idea.
Play on.
Straight back. Just,
Joe, great Marvel run, but unfortunately they're losing this week. Okay. Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
Are they, Joe?
Okay. Parrish is back.
So, yeah.
He'll do a calf in 10 minutes.
He only tips Essendon when Parrish is there. DP3, the saviour.
No, don't worry. Essendon beat Hawthorn. They're a good side. Hippo Supercoach. Skits Fitz is the most handsome Supercoacher out there. Oh, what about us four? I thought we went all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
I'm a bit aged now. Anyway.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. I'll have a look at him after the show. That sounded weird.
Pretty doesn't win you 50K, I tell you that much.
Oh, and Marley May back in the Essendon tip tomorrow. I do fancy. Yeah, I reckon Essendon actually half a shout tomorrow. Actually, I don't know. I don't mind their chances for that game. I think I might sneak a tip with them. It'll be interesting to see as well who is more affected with both the key forwards out as well. I reckon it might be St Kilda.
Yeah, well, I mean, Saints have lost a few and Essendon have got a few back. So it does even things up a little bit, doesn't it? Is it Ben King? He got suspended, didn't he?
Max King got a week.
Max, sorry, yeah.
I thought it was Joe. Joe King.
Joe King, yeah. That's their dad, Joe King.
That's such a dad joke.
I love a dad joke.
We'll go for a couple more minutes. So, any final questions before 3:30? We'll answer. So, Hippo Supercoach boys, thoughts on Holland Martin with Redmond back now? I think that's fine, but you are using one of your key midfield slots with Martin, and then there's other opportunities elsewhere. So, but you can if you want. I think Redmond could actually help Nick Martin.
Yeah, I don't think Martin's a priority trade out like a Short or a Young or someone like that. I think on a week like this, you can definitely hold someone like him, unless you need his money to get to someone good or whatever. If you're just trading him out so that you've got extra cash in the bank down to like a Powell or someone, and you can use someone else, and you just might as well leave him on, see what he does. I don't think he's going to lose too much cash.
And St Kilda leak defensive points as well. Yeah. So I think Martin could actually be in for a decent game this week. But so I don't think it's the worst play to hold on to him. Subs are in. Yep. It was Eddie Ford and Orazio Fantasia for the subs. Orazio. Quick thoughts on Libba. What's he projected to go down in price? Because he's had a couple of not bad games, but just
wasn't he 120 last week?
I think it was
playing the Eagles.
I think he's 150. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, I'd probably actually just hold Libba.
I think Libba for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I'd definitely hold Libba. We haven't had any questions on Jordan Dawson. Would you guys trade him out?
No. Look at his history against the next three sides he plays.
I'd probably hold him over Libba.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I prefer Dawson over Libba.
I'd keep both anyway. Yeah. You picked them both as a keeper, that sort of thing. So, Skits Fitz, massive compliment coming from the Fabio specimen himself, Hippo. Yep. Jabby Joe, I am their father, can confirm. Bit going on here in the comments here. Bit of silliness going on. This will be our last question, so thank you for everyone jumping on. Who gets traded this week out of Martin and Wines? I feel like we might have answered that, but I think, did we say Martin ahead of Wines?
Martin. Yeah,
I said Martin.
I'd say Martin too. Wines won't lose any money. He's a chance to go all right this week, so we'll just see. I'd keep Wines another week.
Yeah, I think you prioritised trading out Nick Martin ahead of Wines there. So thanks for the question, Andrew. Appreciate the work, boys. Yeah, thank you, guys. I think we'll wrap it up there. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Damo, Freo Tragic, and Brad for jumping on the live stream. Really appreciate it, lads. So it's been good fun. And, keen for another big weekend of the footy. And hopefully our Supercoach sides go pretty all right. Thank you guys so much for all the questions, that sort of thing. Really appreciate it. And, make sure you got boys jump on to Supercoach Pro's channel and Damo's channel. Freo, maybe one day you'll.
I don't know. I'll have to get one of those avatars like the Skodfather, I think, to cover this head up. But no, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it one day. I'm not that tech savvy, to be honest. I'll have to get someone to help me set the whole thing up.
We can get that sorted.
Maybe Damo can help me get my setup going, because you're pretty good with the technology, aren't you, Damo?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
We can get that to work. So thank you for everyone jumping on. We'll see you guys in the next live stream or video or whatever. Have a good one, guys.
Cheers. Thanks.
See you.
Cheers.